Okay, so just hold on to your panties because we have a really fabulous first impression today. Now, well, it's fabulous for me anyway, because I've been so lusting after this palette for the longest time. And finally, you know, I just had some birthday money left over and I thought, Anwen, you only live once. Why not? So today we're going to be doing a first impression of the ZOEVA on Taupe palette. I mean, I'm so excited about this. I'm excited about everything, I know, and I say this every single time. But this palette is one, honestly, I have so been lusting over this. This, if the name doesn't give it away, is a palette that's full of taupey kind of shades, like greys and dusky pinks. I mean, I've not opened it yet. I got this yesterday, and, you know, I'm dying to open it. So here goes. Let's take it out of its little sleeve. By the way, today we're going to be doing swatches, and then I will be doing kind of like a little eye look so we can see how the eyeshadows go on. Okay, so again, we just have the same situation as we had in the outer sleeve. So this is what the palette looks like. I think out of all the palettes that I have, other than maybe the Urban Decay Moondust palette, this one is like my favourite packaging. I know I always say the packaging is kind of irrelevant, but you know, it helps. It helps to look at pretty packaging. Okay, so this is the moment. By the way, this palette costs £18 and I picked this up from the Selfridges website, although you can buy this on the Beauty Bay website too, and also ZOEVA's website. Are we ready for this? Okay, are we ready? I can hear a phone ringing. Excuse me. I could hear a phone ringing. It completely distracted me. Let's do this again, shall we? Okay, everybody, no phones ringing. This is a big moment now. Please, can we just silence all phones? Let's start again. Come on. Seriously, I mean, how rude. Okay, so wait, let's take this off. No! I'm just going to say right now, that shade is a lot more purple than I expected. And you know what? I mean, just giving you my very honest first impressions, it looks a little bit different to kind of, let me just see in person. It looks a tiny bit different to what I was expecting, and I don't even know why. Like, I was on the Temptalia website last night just looking at, you know, all the swatches. By the way, I will recommend, if you're interested in this palette, go and check out the kind of review on it on the Temptalia website, because she goes into so much detail about each shade, and she has like 30 different comparisons for other shades that each shade looks like. There's so much work that goes into her reviews, so you know, please like check out her webpage as well if you want like more reviews. But I mean I don't want to sound underwhelmed or anything. Like, these look beautiful, they just I don't know why they don't look how I imagine them to look. You know, like when I did my Moondust first impression and they looked super great and much better than I expected. These, I don't know, it's just leaving me feeling a little bit underwhelmed right now. And I know I'm just speaking like to you as I'm kind of seeing it right now. Maybe it could benefit from another pop, like a couple of pops of like smoky grey. Like, don't be afraid to either to just go all out and give us like a crazy, you know, we want to, I don't know, iridescent smoky grey, who knows. And by the way, it looks like we've got 6 shimmer shades and 4 matte shades. So we're just going to begin, and I'm going to go in with these first 2 shades. I've got a feeling that they're maybe not going to show up too well. So the first one is Stitch by Stitch. It looks nice. It looks quite opaque for a light shade. Will it show up on my skin? Oh, very soft going on. I know, like, I'm so pale and you can barely see that, but it's just like a very close to my skin colour kind of shade, but with a hint of peach. Okay, so next we're going into Spun Pearl. This is a shimmer shade. Can you see there? It looks really nice, if not a little tiny bit on the powdery side, but ooh, this would make a nice kind of subtle highlight, I feel, on the face. Okay, so that's really, really nice. And I can't see, you know, any kind of big glitters in there. It just looks to be quite a kind of pretty sheen. Very nice. A tiny bit chunky though. That's just what I'm going to say. Okay, so we're going to go in with the next 2, which is Handmade and Shears and Voiles. I have no idea. Okay, so these are both shimmery shades. Can you see up my finger there? It looks like a little bit, not chunky, but a little bit chunky actually. But it looks pretty. It looks pretty. So let's swatch this. A bit chunky, right? It's a little bit chunky, but it's a beautiful kind of peachy shade with, oh, it's actually really pretty. Like, you can't really see it, I don't think, on my arm there because my arm's so pale, but it almost reminds me of the NARS Orgasm blush. It's kind of pinky, but then it's got a really pretty kind of gold shift to it, so that's really, really beautiful, and that would be a really beautiful kind of blush as well. By the way, I've not mentioned my crown. This is my, I don't know, I just like to wear it. Whenever I can wear it, I will be wearing it. And because we're doing an eye look today, you know, it's on. Okay, so next we're going to go in with sheers and voiles. No idea. Okay, so this is, oh, what it looks like. It's beautiful. Again, a tiny bit chunky. And when I say chunky, I mean that, you know, when you kind of swatch it, it kind of, the product kind of balls together a little bit, if that makes sense, and makes it look a little bit powdery. Okay, so again, not very easy to kind of see on my hand. I'm going to build it up just a little bit more, just so we can try to see it. Like, it's strange though, because like in the pan here, it looks kind of like an olivey, almost like grey kind of shade, but on my hand in the swatch, it's almost got like pink shimmer to it. There on my finger, you can see like a hint of pink. I really like that actually. It's quite a unique kind of different shade. Okay, so next we're going to go in with these two. We have Outline and Gallery. So we've got one matte and one shimmer. Gallery is a matte. Okay, so that's it swatched. Beautiful shade. This is the type of shade that I die for. I just love this kind of grey, like charcoal shade. Oh, beautiful, beautiful. Look at that. I'll just build up a little bit more just so you can kind of really see it in action. Beautiful. And for a matte, I'm happy with the formula of that. It's not in any way kind of patchy. It's gone on really opaquely and smooth. I really like that shade. That, I don't know, it's difficult to say, but can you see on my finger? It's like a kind of rich, kind of warm toned grey, I would say. Okay, so next we're going to go into these two. We've got Whipped in Silk, not Whipped in Silk. That's a whole other kind of palette right there. We've got Wrapped in Silk and Hour by Hour. I love the names of these shades. They're very kind of whimsical and like they remind me of, you know, working in an embroidery factory. The kind of terms you would throw out like, oh, go and get my shears and voiles. Oh yes, let's just spin some of this pearl. We're going to make this garment stitch by stitch and we're going to wrap it in silk afterwards. You know, very whimsical. Okay, so anyway, let's get on with these. So we've got Hour by Hour, which is a matte. There it is. Again, I don't think this is going to show up. Like, this is what, oh yeah, oh it does, it surprised me. Beautiful. That's just your, like, that would be a really good transition shade, I feel. Just like a really good kind of foundation of any eye look. And next we've got Wrapped in Silk. I'm just going to make sure that I'm wiping my finger properly. Okay, this looks beautiful. Okay, so, oh, I'm loving it. She's loving it. She's going all crazy over this one. This is like a true kind of taupey shimmery shade. Oh yes. Oh, I'm liking that. I'm liking it. Oh yes. Oh, this is what we came for. This is what I bought the palette for. This is a beautiful, beautiful taupey shade. I mean, you could have a palette though called On Taupe and not have like a really bomb diggity like taupey shade. That would be the ultimate betrayal, ZOEVA. But no, I'm liking that one. Okay, so next we're going to go in with these two. These are the last two. We have Exquisite. I love the word exquisite. I try and throw that word out as many times as I can. By the way, I hope that the light isn't changing, but like it was looking quite sunny before and now the clouds have come and covered the sun. So I'm sorry if the light keeps changing. I feel like the light's changing anyway. I don't know. So, and this one is Old Master. So Old Master looks to be quite an interesting like grey purple undertone shade with like almost, it looks like it's got like gold shimmers in it. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, yes, yes. Thank you. Okay, let's swatch that bad boy. No, not really as opaque as I was kind of hoping, but I'm going to go in again. Okay, so yeah, I mean, it's tough swatching and getting a really good swatch, you know, at this angle. It's nice, actually. It's nice. It's just like a really pretty kind of purpley grey kind of shade. And last, we're going to go in with Exquisite. And I do hope it is exquisite. And I think it's going to be exquisite. I think it is. Right, let's do a little swatcheroo. Okay, yes. I'm going to go in again. Like on the finger, it looks super opaque. But yeah, it's not really giving me as much. Let's go in just another swatcheroo on top. Okay, so it is beautiful. Actually, it is. When I look at it here, it's a lot more beautiful than it looks, I think, kind of on the camera. But yeah, so there we go. I mean, I love the shimmers, as particularly this one is beautiful. And I also really like the True Taupe. So, and I mean, I do like how they're looking in the swatches, but I just feel like it would be really good if they had like a really pop of a, you know, smoky charcoal and then a really like iridescent, like shimmery, you know, statement kind of grey charcoal. I mean, I'm obsessed with the grey charcoal. You can tell I love charcoal. It's okay. It's not making me like super excited. I feel like this is going to be like a really good kind of everyday kind of palette. So yeah, I mean, I just feel like we've got a lot of like neutrally shades in here, and I think they could have benefited from, you know, maybe having like, instead of, I mean, this white here, if they had maybe like another, like a pink, maybe a matte pink would have really popped, because I think that pink and taupe and pink and grey and pink and black, pink just is a really good kind of, I think, friend for grey. So I would have loved to have had like a matte kind of baby pink in here, but I mean, that's just me. So next we're going to move on to the eye look, and I'm going to try and keep it kind of quick and not too crazy, just because I don't want the video to be too long. So I'm going to get onto that straight away. I've got all my brushes at the ready, and we're just going to do this. Okay, so in my crease, I think I'm going to go in with this shade here, which is Hour by Hour, and I'm going to use my MAC 217. Where's my mirror? Where? Oh, it's down on the floor. Of course it's on the floor. Why wouldn't it be? I have prepped my eyes with my Maybelline Colour 24 Hour colour tattoo pot that I always use, and I did kind of set that as well. Okay, so nothing's particularly happening here, so we're just going to go in again. I mean, this is one of those shades where there's not an awful, you know, lot kind of to it, so I mean, yeah, there's not a lot for you to see, really. Okay, so next I'm going to go in with, we're going to just beef this up. We're going to go in with Gallery, this kind of matte grey taupey shade. I'm going to be using my Freedom makeup blending brush, and I've got quite a lot of the eyeshadow on there. So I'm just going to put that into, starting off on like the outer kind of crease. We're just going to kind of blend. Okay, so this Gallery shade is definitely one that you have to kind of, you know, really kind of build up and take your time with. I've gone back in about 4 times, and as you can see, like, it's not giving me like all that much in the way of can you see, compared to the eye that doesn't have anything on it, it's giving me a bit, but not like a kind of crazy amount. So I feel like we're going to go in with an even deeper shade, or what should we do? I may go in with, I mean, I'm at a bit of a loss now, because that one was taking hours to blend, and there is no kind of step up other than this one in terms of a matte shade. Either at this point I've got to make the decision to go purple, or I've got to go into like a, you know, a bit of a shimmery situation. So I think I'm going to go into like a bit of a shimmery situation. Purple. Let's see how this works. By the way, if you're a fan of like cool toned looks, which I am, I mean, I'm definitely a cool toned kind of girl. I think, you know, again, this is probably a palette that you've been eyeing up as well. Cool tone looks just don't get enough of a, you know, attention. They just don't get enough attention. Right, so I like Exquisite, actually. I feel like that has really helped just to like, you know, build up that colour in the crease without making it look like overly, you know, overly kind of purple. This is definitely a palette that you will have to, I think, you have to like spend a bit of time building up the shadows because they're just not the most, you know, pigmented kind of. And that's not a bad thing, but you've just got to be prepared to kind of seduce them a little bit on the eye and, you know, just play with them. They like being played with, you know. Anyway, took that to another awkward level there, Anwen. Well done. Well done. By the way, this lipstick is doing my head in. Can you see the line of demarcation? This is Jeffree Star's Posh Spice, which I like, but I know I don't like it today. So, you know, sometimes you like, it could be your favourite product and you're like, I hate this today. I hate it. Ridiculous, disappointing video for you, seriously. Right, okay, so next I think I'm going to just use my finger to apply a little bit of this Wrapped in Silk kind of, like a cool tone grey taupey kind of shade. I'm just going to put this onto the lid. I like to use my finger just for applying shimmery shades to my lid. Oh, this is nice. This is nice. That's really, really pretty. It's just, oh, yeah, really nice. I'm liking it. She's liking it. She's liking it. And just to build up a little bit more, I'm going to go in with outline just to, you know, test it out. See what it's all about. That's it on my finger, as you can see. It's just a little bit more of like a true taupey colour than this one, which was a bit more of a grey kind of tone. So I'm going to put the, oh, this is nice. The shimmers are good. There's a lot of fallout on my face right now. Blend those shadows into the crease. Oh, massive big lorry's just gone past. I almost crashed into a car innocently driving along. I just feel like you've got to kind of really work to build up the colour, but I'm liking it. I'm liking it. And now I think we're just going to go in with Handmade as well, just because I've really loved how this looked in the swatch. So I'm just going to add a little bit of this for like a little bit of a pink. Look at that. This is a beautiful shade. It's a little bit like chunky, but it's beautiful. Can you see that? When it's going on my eye, it's looking a bit more kind of a goldy kind of shade. I really like that. I really like it. That just takes the, you know, the grey kind of taupey, grungy look to a more ethereal kind of place. It is a bit chunky though, right? It is a bit chunky, kind of balling up a little bit on my eye. I'm just going to take as well, I'm going to use my, where is it? I can never find the brush that I want. Go under the eye, because I feel like a look is never complete till you go under the eye with the Gallery shade. Okay, and I've also kind of gone back over the, you know, this pinky shade with the Wrapped in Silk, just because I wanted the look to be a bit more grungy grey kind of look. Because I've kind of built like a shimmer on top of a shimmer, it's kind of left it looking quite chunky there, which I'm not a huge fan of. So I would definitely say with this palette, especially the shimmers, just try and refrain from kind of building them up on top of each other, because you are going to end up with it looking a little bit kind of chunky. So I'm going to go off and I'm going to do the other eye and then finish up, and I'll be back and we can see what the kind of final look that I've created is. Okay, so guys, you know I'm always honest with you. I was just about to cut so I could show you like the final look, and then this situation happened. I thought, you know what, I'm going to take my hair down and then my hair can look all glamorous. Look, I mean, this is the stuff they don't show you usually, and I'm going to show you because, look, I have these struggles. Oh my gosh, come on. This, I mean, I've been here for already about 5 minutes trying to dislodge my hair from the claws of this. There we go. Done. Okay, so I'm back, and I wanted to put my hair down with the crown because I wanted to look all kind of like, you know, grungy and a bit like her hair hasn't been washed for days and she's just grungy, but in actual fact, like, it just looks a bit messy, doesn't it? I mean, really. Okay. Okay, so this is the kind of final look that I created, and I do really like it. However, it took more time than I would have liked to have kind of built up to this. I do really like it. I think that particularly if you're a fan of cool tone shades and, you know, you don't mind just like, you know, building up eyeshadows, you know, and just, you know, spending time on them, then I think that you would love the palette. I feel like the shimmery shades are quite chunky and you can't really kind of layer them up on top of each other, so it's kind of like pick the shade you like and apply that, and don't try and kind of pair them up too much, because I do feel it's left me, particularly on the first eye, looking a bit chunky. I tried to avoid it on the second eye, and I think you can see the look is just a little bit less chunky. Really also do feel like this palette would have benefited from having just a pop of like a really kind of bold, you know, strong shade, just to kind of give you a little bit more of an option to take it in a different direction. Because I feel like with this palette you're probably going to be getting a very similar look again and again and again. But with the Anastasia Beverly Hills Modern Renaissance palette, you've got like lots of different options for looks with that palette. But with this one, it's just, I just feel like you're always going to be going to the same look, because this is going to be like your transition shade, or this one, but this one really had to be built up to pack any kind of muster. And even then I had to go in with Exquisite just to really kind of add some depth there. Going to end up with quite like a samey kind of looks with this palette, which isn't a bad thing, and particularly not if you like, you know, these shades. That definitely isn't a bad thing, but it just didn't excite me in the way that I was hoping to be excited. I don't really have any issue with the quality of the shadows, other than the matte shadows do take quite a lot of building up and, you know, kind of seducing, as I said earlier. The shimmery shades are beautiful, but just be conscious not to build them up. I do really like this kind of pinky shimmery shade, but I do think the palette would have just really benefited from having like a really super matte baby pink that could have taken you in a different kind of direction, because you could have had like a pink grey taupey smoky eye, along with having like purple grey taupey smoky eye, or a taupey smoky eye. You know, it's not as wild as I thought I would be. I definitely wouldn't say don't buy it or I don't like it, because I do like it. It's just not as great as I was hoping for, and I think the quality of the shadows just aren't quite as easy as, say, my Androgyny palette by Jeffree Star, or the Modern Renaissance shadows. But, you know, they're like at the top of their game, I would say. I think for £18 it is a great palette. It just is going to be down to whether you know, really like these kind of shades. If you really like the shades and you're drawn to them, then I think that you would get a lot of use out of it. So yeah, that's my kind of review. I hope that this has been useful to you. Please do let me know down below if I've missed anything, if you've got any questions. If you've tried this palette, let me know, what do you think about it? I would really be keen to know your opinions on it, as always. And I'm just going to leave you now with this look. I like the look. I prefer this eye to this eye, but yes. So I'm going to go now. I hope that you've enjoyed this first impression, and I'll be back soon with more. Bye.